Hello everyone and welcome to a new IBMi RPG sample video. In today's video we're going to talk about different ways to check if a record exists in SQL when working with embedded SQL in our RPG code. Unlike native RPG operations where we can simply use chain or read, SQL requires a different approach. I'll show you two common methods, using where exists in two different versions and using count. Let's go. First of all, let me show you the content of a table that I have in my system with a few records inside. For that, as always, I create a new SQL document using db2 for I, just pressing here. And we can do a query, select from this table. And as you can see, this is the content of the table. Okay, so we're gonna work with this table in this example. Well, let's now create a new SQL RPG source. Let's go again to code for I. And let me create a new program. That is gonna be test 140 SQLRPGLE. All right, now let me write the first few lines of RPG code, as always, in free. We're gonna have a main procedure, okay, in this example. Now, as you all know, if we want to check whether a record exists using native RPG operations, we can simply do a chain or a read on an open file. Then by using if found or end of file, checking checking the end of file indicator, we can determine whether we successfully retrieved a record or not. But when using SQL, things aren't that straightforward. Sometimes we just need to check if a record exists on a table, for example, before updating it or inserting a new one if it doesn't exist. Let's see the first way to do it in SQL, using where exists. Imagine we want to check if a record exists in the colors table where the description is equal to purple. Okay, this record, this one, purple. Well, in that case, we can do something like this. We can query this way, select one into exists, okay? Exists must be declared as an indicator. From okay, where exists, and now here we have to write the sentence, the query that I want to do. Okay, for example, select everything from the name of the table where description in this case is equal to purple. Okay, well, this way. And then we only have to do something like this: if exists, then, for example, we can send a message to the job log. Purple exists. Okay. Another way, it doesn't exist. Okay, All All right. Well, let's compile it. Let's see if it works. Okay. And let me run it. The program is here, so we can run it directly from within VS Code, as always. And as you see, purple exists, so it works perfectly. Okay. Well, if you want, we can check if we change this. Instead of purple, we can write here purple X, for example. That is not a description that exists in the table. So if we run the program this way, then we will get it doesn't exist. Okay. Well, it works perfectly, as you can see. Well, but I want to show you something interesting in this query. We can simplify it. Okay, we can remove something from the query and it will work in the same way. So let me write here purple, and we can remove this, and also we can remove this, and also we can remove this. Okay, so it is more simple. Okay, and this way it will work in the same way. So let's check it out. Let's run it. And as you see, purple exists. And in the same way, if we change it to purple X, compile and run it, it doesn't exist. Okay. Well, it works exactly the same way. So that's pretty cool. Well, another way to check if a record exists is by using count. This method is simple. We count the number of records that match the condition. If the count is greater than 0, that means the record exists. Let's see an example. We can change it to this, to something like this. Select count everything into number of records, for example, from the name of the table, where description is equal to purple as before. Okay, then we need to change this. This is gonna be number of records, for example, this type, and also we have to change this. If number of records is more than 0, then purple exists. In other case, it doesn't exist. Okay, well, it's a little different, but if we compile the program and run it, then we are getting purple exists in the same way. Okay, also changing this again, and running it, we are getting it doesn't exist. So as you can see, it works just like before. So in this video, we have been talking about different ways to check if a record exists in SQL. We first looked at where exists, which allow us to check for the existence of a record efficiently. Then we explored the count method, which simply counts matching records and determines if any exists. Both methods work well, and depending on your program, one might be better than the other. Do you have any other option better? Please let us know. I hope you liked the video and that it was useful to you. As always, remember to like and subscribe if you aren't already, See you on the next video. Thanks for watching.